Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a full moon pick a card because we have the full moon in Scorpio. It's also the flower moon coming up here on the 18th of May, this Saturday, and so we're going to figure out sort of what you need to know for this full moon, maybe how to fix any sort of obstacles or blockages that might be happening for you right now. So to better kind of explain why I'm saying that, the full moon in Scorpio, which is the flower moon, is really all about delving deeper into your feelings, releasing obstacles and blockages that may be, keeping you back from reaching for a certain abundance that you want to create and manifest in your life. Because the flower moon is definitely about that springtime, growth, fertility, kind of abundance energy. So, some other interesting things to think about with the full moon in Scorpio. And again, I was just doing some basic research. Anybody who knows more about astrology can, of course, correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, but I did see that this full moon in Scorpio is also a trine to Neptune in Pisces, so we're really heavy in talking about the feelings, the mind, emotions, all of that is very heavy at this time. We also have some retrograde planets happening. So the retrograde planets are Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So definitely check out your own astrological chart and see if there's any sort of important movements that are happening in relation to those. And so that might give you a better idea of how and what is affecting you at this time. So, this is definitely about, this full moon is about recapturing your imagination, asking for clear messages about things. So if you're feeling a little bit of like indecision, kind of lost, this is a really good time to ask for guidance in those areas. Facing any sort of demons, fears that you may be holding on to currently from the past, whatever it may be, that this is a good time to face those, release them, and also just embrace the experiences that you're having and you're going through. This is also really exciting. It's also a blue moon for this full moon on the 18th. So of course, if we're talking about blue, I immediately was thinking about the throat chakra. So this might be a good time to also work on throat chakra issues if you have any of those. Also the third eye, because those are the most like blue related colors to the chakras. It's all about finding your true authentic self and finding what is holding you back and really taking that step and embracing it. So that is why we're talking about, and hopefully getting through the cards, some clarity on what may be kind of blocking you in those areas. So for the piles, we have pile number 1 with the Goldstone. We have pile number 2 with the Sodalite. Pile number 3 with the Selenite. And then the last pile here, pile 4, we actually have a purple goldstone. Let's see if we can get it to focus on, because this is such a pretty stone, but it's really magical looking. So those are the related piles. So definitely trust in your intuition and pick which pile or piles is best calling to you and your situation and what you want to know and work on for this Scorpio full moon. See you guys in the piles. All right, for those who picked group 1 with the, let's see if we can get it, the goldstone. Look at that, isn't that so neat? Love this stone, it's so pretty. So for you guys, let's see what your cards are. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Sun card, so major arcana, very nice. We also have the Knight of Swords. And for the oracle cards, and of course I have all these linked down below, we have Water Garden, connect with your emotions. And then we also have self-reflection, waning gibbous 1, which is card 17. So let's go ahead and break down what your message is here. So starting off with more so at what I feel like for this moon, for the Scorpio moon, and it totally makes sense. What you will need to be working on is, of course, the self-reflection, what both of these oracle cards have to tell you. So with self-reflection, this is talking about really needing to be curious about your own nature and how you feel and about things, what it is you want in your life. turning inwards, looking at and questioning what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And in order to do this and to do this sort of self-reflection, you have to slow down. You definitely need to take a big old breath, take a break, and find out what it is that you internally want and need, what it is that you need to understand more about yourself. And it's all about this exercise of turning inward and having a lot of self-responsibility for your sort of internal health, I feel like, in a sense. So really building up resilience and taking the time to have a regular practice of self-reflection. So there's multiple different ways to go about having self-reflection. You could start like a journal, and I know that for some people that could be a kind of tedious or annoying kind of thing to do. I've always myself had issues with sort of keeping a journal, but I've definitely been actively working on doing that more, having different journals for different purposes. And so, having that sort of practice of writing down, the things you've gone through that day, what you were thinking, having a dream journal, all that sort of stuff could be really useful for you guys as well. If that doesn't appeal to you, even just something as simple as like when you're on the way back from work or you get home or whatever it may be, in whatever situation, you're taking a shower at night or something, you spend 5 minutes sort of going over what you've done in that day. And so this whole process of self-reflection can be kind of scary because, of course, you're going to be facing a lot of both good and bad emotions, and sometimes that could be, you want to avoid that because it doesn't seem worth it to sort of have those, the icky feelings sort of come over you because you're doing that self-reflection. But it's so important to do that, and that's where the self-responsibility comes in, is because if you're ignoring all of those feelings, you're ignoring a major part of yourself and also a major issue that you need to overcome in order to move forward, especially with all of this, what we get to here with the tarot cards. And similarly, last note on this one. So obviously the waning gibbous, so this is going to be after the full moon. So this might be, beginning with the full moon, you start working on this and it's starting to pick up speed around this time. Now, also, it might be very useful for you guys who got this card to also wear and use Tiger's Eye. That might be of use for you. And then with the Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. It's a very similar message in that, how do you really feel about things and yourself? Like, what are you really feeling? And also, since this is obviously the Water Guardian, we're talking about emotions. We also have a lot of blue here, so we're thinking about the throat chakra again. And this is kind of telling me that maybe for some of you who picked this pile are empaths of some sort, because there's a message in this card about your sensitivity is not a curse. You really need to embrace the emotions that you're having and not hide from them because they're telling you important things. So it's totally okay to feel whatever emotions you're feeling, whether they're good or they're bad. You're feeling them for a reason, so you need to take note of what that is. Take the time to breathe, take a little break so that you can really focus on what it is that is happening here. And then to keep it in mind, because not only on the side of empaths, but also you guys who got this are probably very intuitive. You might be water signs. Some of these feelings and these emotions that you're getting are intuitive or psychic messages. So don't dismiss those. This is all, both these oracle cards are really about that inner self-reflection and needing to take that time and reconnect with yourself in that way. And of course, this full moon is a perfect time to do that. Now, moving on to your tarot cards, you've got some really good tarot cards here. So with the Ace of Pentacles, this is definitely one of the best cards to get in the tarot, because not only is this a new beginning, but it's a new beginning that's going to be filled with prosperity, abundance, security, wealth, well-being, really reaping the rewards for hard work that you're putting in. But you have to have a lot of patience in your work and to really reap the benefits of what the Ace of Pentacles is trying to tell you. So, good fortune, divine wisdom. This is all around a really fantastic card and a great message to be getting, because obviously this full moon is going to be a really good time for you to release any sort of, and discover what those, you know, more, whatever blockages in your emotions and in yourself are happening here, reflecting on that so that you can bring about this new beginning of prosperity in both, you know, your material world and your inner world. And then we also have the Sun card, which again is all about you, that enlightenment, understanding, glory, achieving, you know, promise, good health. Again, we're talking about prosperity here. We also, looking at all these cards, thinking about the chakras, we have, you know, the heart chakra, solar plexus, and then also, you know, kind of throat, third eye, crown chakra. More so maybe third eye and crown chakra happening here. So 2 cards with great prosperity and abundance coming your way, as long as you're able to work through sort of your emotional self-reflection that you need to do here. Now, we also have the Knight of Swords, and I kind of want to say that for a lot of you who picked this pile, this is you. On the other hand, this could possibly be symbolizing somebody soon who's going to be coming into your life who sort of embodies these personalities of the Knight of Swords. But again, I'm a little bit more inclined to think that it's you, a lot of you who picked this pile, because the Knight of Swords is definitely one of the knights in the tarot that is emotionless. So, you know, he thinks a lot with his mind, because again, this is a sword, so we're thinking about how your mind, how you think. And so he's very much about logic and just sort of striking in and going fast into a situation, you know, headstrong, truth seeker, you know, boldness, like a very fast sort of boldness into diving into the conflict and going after that, you know, fighting for what he believes in very strongly. But again, because of that, sometimes he can be a little bit harsh in his words or the way that he does things, because he sort of disconnects from that emotional aspect. So with this card being here, I definitely feel like while it's good to have that sort of very focused, sort of driving forward fast into things and, you know, standing up for all that it is that you are, you really need to not push and bury down too much of your emotional side. You really need to reconnect with that and question why it is you are doing this. Like maybe it's a subject here of sort of going back and questioning what it is you're fighting for, what it is maybe you're avoiding, flying away from, maybe, because we definitely have a lot of air going on here with both. You know, both of these figures are on these flying birds, sort of soaring into the sky. But the difference is here, I think, you know, one is more well-rounded in connecting with all those aspects of himself, while the other is more focused on the logical and sort of going and doing battle. That's what I'm sort of getting from here. So yes, I think for this Scorpio full moon, definitely take time to yourself and start whatever self-reflection practice that you want to do. I'm sure that there are various different sources that you can look up online to figure out what system of self-reflection might be best for you, whether that's journaling, you know, just going over things in your mind, maybe making bullet lists, whatever it is that you need to do to sort of help you in this process. But I think definitely the time to do it is here in this full moon, and definitely after the full moon, just really keep that going, you know, reevaluating your emotions, connecting with your emotions, because it will bring about definitely the good abundance and new beginning that you want to bring about, as long as you make sure to sort of strike that balance between your emotional side and the logical side here. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did like this reading, please do leave a like on the video, comment letting me know what you think, you know, what it is you're planning on doing for this full moon, and all that good stuff. Also, if you would like to check out all my other various links, they will be down in the description, including information on personal readings, how to get a personal reading from me, as well as all my various sort of art merch related links, because this piece here in the corner here is actually up on my Redbubble if you want to check that out, get it on a phone case, all that good stuff. So yes, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed your message, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great full moon, guys. Group 2, for those of you who picked the Sodalite, get that to focus, the Sodalite stone. Let's go ahead and see what your cards are. So we have the Emperor, we have the 10 of Cups, we have the 9 of Wands, and you guys actually got an additional card here with the 2 of Wands. So we'll go ahead and set that. And then for your Oracle cards, we have the Shield Maiden, Make Plans and Focus. And then we also have the Waning Crescent 3, Surrender, which is card 26. So let's go ahead and break down what it is that you need to know for this full moon. So starting off with your Oracle cards, we have the Shield Maiden, Make Plans and Focus. So what she is letting you know is that it is time for you to obviously make plans and to focus on what it is that you want to achieve. You know, setting very clear goals in mind. This is very much, I felt, related to what the 2 of Wands has to say, so when we get into that. You know, this is also a very fierce feminine energy. Whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. It just means that not only do you have a warrior's heart, but you're also connected to that sensitivity that makes you honestly like a even stronger warrior for that, you know. So yes, the Shield Maiden also refers to also working with others as well, because it's not just with the Shield Maidens, they all work together to make that protective barrier. So knowing when you do need to work with somebody, this is all about really understanding what goals you have in mind and what your strategy is, having that very clear and focused in your mind. And then also, once you have that, a more focused idea of what it is you want to do and achieve, your guides will be able to better support you in what it is you're doing. And on that same front, I think to help you get more clarity in this situation, we have Surrender, which on initially seeing that next to like the Shield Maiden, you might think that's kind of contradictory, but it's actually not. You know, Surrender here with the Waning Crescent 3, which this might be, when we have the Waning Crescent, this might be a very important time for you in this process, so keep that in mind. Definitely begin this on the full moon, but maybe something will come of it on the Waning Crescent. So with Surrender, this is all about letting go of what you no longer need. So understanding and not being stubborn and sort of like stuck in your ways. If something is no longer working for you and deep down inside you've reevaluated and you can see that, okay, I'm kind of just stuck and I keep doing and repeating the same behaviors or the same patterns, and of course the same outcome is coming, but really that is not aligning with what it is you now want to achieve. You need to be able to recognize that we all go through changes and shifts, and the old patterns and the old things that, made us maybe back in the day, you can no longer hold on to that in order to grow and move into this new phase. So, and I definitely feel that goes very much in hand with what the Shield Maiden is saying, because you have a very strong and confident energy, especially with both these wands here, fiery, focused, creative. But right now, you really have to work on what is your plans and what is holding you back from those plans. And whatever it is that is holding you back at this point, whether it's person, it's a place, items, an inner belief that you held on to for so long, it's time to release that, because with that release is going to become brighter beginnings for you. So moving into what the tarot cards you have here. So as I already mentioned, you have 2 wands, so this is very much strong fire energy, so some of you could be fire signs. But the wands have to do with, again, creativity, passion, you know, that kind of like driving focus. You know, it's the career kind of sector of things. And so with the 2 of Wands, this is really talking about obviously needing to make a choice of some kind. You know, you have needing to, again, focus and make sure you have your long-term goals in sight, because you're going to be moving into a time where you're going to need to take action. And you guys definitely have the personal power, you know, the intuition for it, the authority, courage to pursue those things. But you have to understand that while you are like sitting up here, you know, kind of looking over your horizons, you need to make sure that you know what that your end goal on that horizon is. So this could also possibly be hinting to some sort of travel coming up for you soon at some point. But yeah, the 2 of Wands is definitely about needing to make a choice about what it is your goals are and setting those long-term goals and making sure that every day you're taking just even tiny small steps into building that future for you. And then with the 9 of Wands, you know, this is talking about having vigilance over things, you know, keeping your strength in reserve, being prepared for things, you know, inner strength is definitely needed, because this is talking about, you know, possibly another battle that you need to go, like another challenge that you need to face. And that could also be related to why the Shield Maiden is coming up for you. Because that is what the 9 of Wands has to talk about. It's talking about while you probably are tired of sort of fighting for whatever it is that you want, or you know, having certain conflicts, whatever it is, you're at a point now where you're tired of dealing with it, but you still have to deal with it. That is what the 9 of Wands is. It's having that vigilance to, while it may not be up in your face yet, you deep down inside, you know that this challenge is going to come up again. It's sort of the final hurdle for you, and you just need to be prepared for it. Keep that strength going. Don't sort of give up, because that's even, you know, when we have the surrender card here, that doesn't mean surrender in the sense of giving up. That just means letting go of something. So with here, it's about definitely keep going, keep your focus, be prepared for what is coming. And so additionally, we have the Emperor card over here. So with the Emperor, he is all about order from chaos, authority, leadership, strength, and structure. So this all goes into this whole thing that you guys need to work on who pick group 2, of really making your strategies and your plans, having really good authority over your own decisions, over yourself completely. You are sort of like the king or queen of your castle, and so all the choices that you make are there, you're making them to continue on your process. So you definitely shouldn't hand your power over to anybody else. You need to make sure that the decisions that you are making, the choices and the goals that you're setting, are for yourself and not for anybody else. So don't be sort of swayed in that sense. Because we also have the 10 of Cups. So I definitely feel like this is the hurrah moment here for you guys. And so with the 10 of Cups, this is all about having a really kind of fairy tale ending. You know, this is a bright, happy sort of family, security, peace, happiness, joy, success. And so especially with this sort of interpretation of the 10 of Cups as far as the imagery goes, I definitely feel like for a lot of you who pick this pile, it could be that whether you're in a relationship or not right now, this is telling me that there's going to be a time coming up here soon where you're going to have a closer, more solid sort of commitment and union with whoever the other person is, or you're going to meet the person that you are going to have a strong sort of committed union with. And it's going to lead you to a lot of really great prosperity and happiness for yourself. Sort of also, you know, if it's not that, you know, stronger ties and maybe reconnection to family. So this is definitely a very family-oriented card. That prosperity, happiness, all that sort of great stuff is here. The thing you just have to remember here is really, what is your end goal? Look at what it is at this time that you need to surrender from your past, you know, whether that's beliefs, you know, searching, doing some, maybe some, a little bit of self-reflection, but more so reflection on what it is you are trying to achieve. Because I don't feel like, for you guys who picked this pile, you have a very good idea about who you are and your power. It's just a matter of sort of getting a better clarity on what it is you're trying to achieve now at this point. What is your goal? Maybe you've come out of a period where it's been, you know, you've had these sort of battles, you've been fighting for things, and now you could be, you're a little confused about where it is you want to head next. Like, what is your next challenge that you want to take on? So yes, that is what I'm feeling for you guys, for your message for this reading. If this resonated with you, please do leave a like on this video, leave me a comment, let me know how you found it, all that good stuff. If you would like to check out all my various links down in the description, and also information on how to get a personal reading from me, that would be fantastic. Also, if you're interested in checking out any of my art, or, you know, looking at any merch that I have of art, I actually have this piece over here over on my Redbubble. All of those links will be down in the description. So thank you all so much, Group 2, for reading and watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great full moon. All right, for those who picked Group 3 with the Selenite stone, try to get that little flash on the camera. So let's go ahead and see what your cards are. We have the Three of Cups. We also have the Queen of Cups, the Chariot, and for your oracle cards, we have Winter, take care of your needs, and we have the Waxing Gibeus for Will, card 13. So let's go ahead and break down what it is that is the message for you guys for this full moon. So starting off with your oracle cards here, they are kind of related. So with the Will card, we're really talking about, you know, decisions that, you know, require action. Also, the stone for this one is hematite, and, you know, having free will in all things, focus on yourself, you know, really asking yourself what it is that you really want. You know, this is all about focusing on and questioning, you know, where are you putting your willpower? What things do you want to achieve? Because if there's something that you've been desiring to change in your life, whether it's a habit, a bad habit, you know, a belief, you know, this is, you need to make sure that you harness and you really challenge yourself with your will, because the only way for you to break and to change whatever those patterns are is through a very strong force of will, and it has to be your own. You know, it's interesting because this card brings up, if you're somebody who, you know, practices magic and such, witchcraft, this card was bringing up the whole premise of that is that, you know, witches, Wiccans, whatever specific sect of that belief it is, you don't try to change somebody else's will to fit whatever your needs are. The example that they give in this card was like, if an ex-boyfriend, you know, you think that your ex-boyfriend might be the right person for you, you don't do sort of like spell work or, you know, something of that effect to try to change his will to come back to you. You instead do, you know, a spell or a manifestation on yourself to attract your ideal partner. And so if your ex is your ideal partner, then he will freely come back to you instead of, or she, or the perfect, or somebody new that is perfect for you. You get what I mean? That's what this card was bringing up as like the example of the will. Everybody has their own free will, and so you cannot change somebody's free will, and in turn they can't change yours. So this card is all about sort of focusing on what it is that you really want at this time and gaining the focus to go after it. And similarly with the Winter card, it says take care of your needs. So this is moving beyond any fears or limitations, you know, going on your own, because this is also referring to the actual winter season. So maybe, you know, winter 2019 will be a very important time for you guys, as well as, you know, the waxing gibbous moon, whenever, you know, that is coming up here. And so since this card is the Winter card and it has the feature of the wolf, this is talking about maybe you're feeling like a lone wolf. The wolf is one of the only creatures during winter that is active, while others are hibernating. And while it might be, you know, desirable to maybe go into that hibernating state where you're kind of ignoring things, the Winter card is all about still staying active and, again, moving beyond whatever it is that might be blocking you, using and like cultivating your power of will and taking care of what it is that it is you want to do. And so on that vein, you know, going over to the tarot cards here, first thing that really pops up to me is how much water there is here. In the imagery as the cards themselves, I mean, the Chariot card is literally the zodiac sign that is associated with the Chariot is Cancer. And of course, you know, the cups in the tarot are referring to the water signs. So Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We're talking about the Scorpio moon, of course. So for a lot of you guys who pick this pile may be a water sign, or you just have a lot of very strong water sign like attributes to yourself, maybe some other strong water sign placements in your chart. And so just going off that and sort of thinking about the Queen of Cups, because with the Queen of Cups, she is next to the High Priestess. She is the other card and sort of person in the tarot who is highly intuitive. So she's highly intuitive. She's also very nurturing and loving to people. She wants to care for people. She really, because she is so intuitive, she follows her intuitions. And so while sort of the actions and the choices she makes may seem like wild and crazy to other people, and they may not be able to achieve the same results she does by sort of doing this unusual path that she takes, because she trusts in her intuitions and her guides and whatnot, that inner voice of hers. She knows exactly where to step and when, and so she has like no fear in going for what it is she wants. Again, she's very sensitive. She has that, you know, that tight rein on her emotions. She's also very creative. She's very in touch with that creative aspect of herself. And keeping that in mind, and then thinking about these cards, your oracle cards, the will and the need to take care of yourself, I feel like, because it's kind of a trait for water signs, especially for Pisces, to sort of take care of the needs of others before they really take care of the needs of themselves. And so that's very in line with sort of this water sign kind of personality of really caring for other people and listening to other people's problems more so than really taking note of how maybe the actual individual's own problems are sort of affecting them in a sense, you know, taking on the problems of other people instead of really sometimes focusing on themselves, because it could be a question of like, maybe that makes you feel selfish, but really it's not, because you can't really take care of other people the way you want to unless you have taken care of yourself first. So I definitely feel like for some of you that is an important message here. Now with the Chariot, this is really a really great card to also get, because this is all about victory, you know, power, authority. You're really finding your own mastery, you know, learning to control opposing forces, positive, the negative, you know, your shadow side, your light side, going after what you want with a lot of drive and purpose. And interesting, the imagery on both of these cards is we have these figures that are sort of moving across, you know, these bodies of water. And so I feel like for you guys, this is coming to terms and really being able to have a lot of control over your own emotions and being able to sort of rise above and not necessarily be like pulled down into the depths of it. And then with the Three of Cups over here, this is a really fantastic card because this is all about celebration, you know, dancing, joining together, community, friendship. So this is really about getting together with friends, family, and sort of reconnecting with them, or just, you know, having a fun, you know, family dinner or a friend dinner, just hanging out and really having that joyful reconnection and celebrating something. So yeah, I definitely feel like that you guys who picked this group, you are very intuitive, emotional people. You care a lot about others and you really enjoy, you know, being in your little communities, but it becomes right now that your challenge and the thing that you need to heal and sort of work on for this full moon is understanding when you need to kind of pull away and take care of your own needs first, and really knowing what it is that you desire and taking action to go after it. That's why the Chariot is definitely here. A lot of you embodied sort of this energy of the Queen of Cups. So you are that nurtured, that very intuitive. You have the intuitive insights. It's just a matter of you applying it correctly and trusting in it, so that, because you definitely have the power here to achieve what it is you want. And it could be the case where for some of the things that some of you want to do, you are either going to need to be and embody that lone wolf attitude and just do it on your own, and some others of you are actually going to need to join together with other people and ask for help and sort of rely on the communities that you've made for yourself. So yes, that is the message that I'm feeling for you guys for this pile 3 with the Selenite. If this reading resonated for you, please do leave a like on this video and a comment. You know, subscribe if you haven't already, because that would be a huge help for me, for sure. And yeah, if you would like to check out any of my other various links, they will all be down in the description, as well as, you know, information on personal readings. If you want to check out some of my art, this one is actually up on my Redbubble if you would like to check out some of that merch. And yeah, thank you all, group 3, for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful full moon. All right, group 4, the last group for this reading, we had who chose, of course, let's see if we get the purple Goldstone. Isn't this just such a awesome stone? Purple, blue, pretty much the same thing, but let's go ahead and see what your cards are. So we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups, we also have the Six of Cups, and we have, for your Oracle cards, Broken Arrow, Embrace the Energy of Peace, and we have the Void, Dark Moon, card number 1. So let's go ahead and start off by breaking down what the messages are from your Oracle cards. So with the Void, you know, the Dark Moon, this is actually the day before the official new moon happens. And so this could be an important time period for you coming up here after, of course, the full moon. You know, taking the time right now to sort of start this process that we're going to be talking about with this moon, and seeing it maybe come to fruition during, you know, the new moon and the dark moon. So this card is really talking about this is a time of rest and reset. You know, release what does not serve you anymore. This is talking about new possibilities for you. But in order to reach those new possibilities, you have to, again, release the old and cut any cords, you know, whether those are with relationships, the past, you know, old bad behaviors, beliefs, whatever behaviors, it's something. But essentially, it's just about really taking a moment to find what those things are and then release them, cut the cord, and bring about some new peace for yourself. So again, so far, every single pile, the Oracle cards have always matched up together, and I feel they've been very much related to each other. And same goes here with the Broken Arrow, Embrace the Energy of Peace. This is about, you know, letting you know you are safe. Let go of the need to defend yourself. Let go of any sort of past arguments, because this is really marking a time now where any sort of fights, arguments, disagreements are really coming to a time where they're going to clear up. You're going to find agreement. You're going to stop the arguments. the things are going to become clear. And a part of that, I feel like, is definitely related to this and releasing any sort of old difficulties. You know, embrace that energy of the peace. You know, be very peaceful, you know, contemplative. Just take a moment to relax in sort of that void area, because it can be very much a nice area to heal in. And so going into your tarot cards here, just looking at them, I definitely feel like you guys are right now in a time, and that's why, you know, these are coming up, where you are extremely you're very busy and you're very stressed. You have a lot of things on your plate, and not only that, you also have a lot of choices happening. So let's kind of start off with the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is really talking about memories. So there's going to be things here that are going to come up, and that's sort of part of this healing process of your past, your childhood. Things from your childhood you're going to remember them, the good and the bad. And so what you need to remember there, and why it's coming up, is that you need to embrace your childlike nature, your inner child. Really embrace sort of the innocence, the curiosity of it, the joy and the discovery of just all the new things that, you know, children really have before, you know, you grow up and sort of all this stuff happens, and sort of it dims that childlike light. But this appearing here is really saying that you're going to be revisiting those feelings, and you should, because you need to reconnect with that inner child and heal any wounds that may be there, and embrace the strengths that you had back in that time, because it's going to help you with this situation here. So these two, I definitely feel, are very related. So with the Two of Pentacles here, this is you're in a balancing act. You're kind of stressed. There's a lot of things on your plate, a lot of little things, but there's two things that are very important that you're trying to make a decision on. And it's very overwhelming because you're not sure how best, like, what is the best option for you. And so, you know, you're taking on, oops, there goes my light, as I was saying, you know, taking on a lot of, like, both little chores and not so little chores, and it's all just really distracting you from two major things, decisions, or problems that you really need to focus on and take control back over. You know, also this card is, you know, it could be that you're so overwhelmed and sort of focused on work that maybe some part of your relationship, whether you're in a relationship or not, whatever that may be, romantic or otherwise, is sort of suffering because of it, because you're not able to devote enough time to that other person. So that's another also possible message for some of you there. And sort of on that vein of, you know, being kind of confused, needing to balance things out and make a decision about something, you have the Seven of Cups, which is all about there being way too many possibilities for you. And so you're very confused. And I love how this card, and in this deck, it goes about sort of showing what the Seven of Cups means, is that, you know, you have this figure here, and she's very much, her head is in the sky, and she's, you know, what if she's kind of more of the riskier, wants to take the riskier road and try to go after the floating citadel here, while he's a little bit more grounded and focused, and is just really focusing on the most, probably longer, harder, you know, more, not necessarily harder, but slower path to sort of get to these castles here in the distance. And so it's this push of pull of some of the cups, you know, are filled with these like fantasy, your head is kind of like, you're thinking about these fantastic things that you could do. They're a little bit maybe not as realistic as some other choices. You know, some of the cups could lead to this kind of plummet off of the cliff, on the edge of this cliff here. And so essentially it's just this very much confusion and indecision, because some cups are positive, some cups are negative, some cups have, you know, these grand opportunities, while others hold monsters, and it's very unclear about which cup you should take. And so that is where I feel like for you guys, this sort of process of releasing the old is going to help you, because once you are able to cut those cords and release it, you're able to better focus on what it is you are now growing into, what you now need to work on. And that's what this full moon in Scorpio is all about too, is delving deep into your feelings. And so far, every single pile has had some message about that. And each one's kind of unique in how they are supposed to be dealing with it. And I definitely feel for you, this is an issue of something from your childhood. You need to go back to this time, heal, as I've already said, heal whatever hasn't been unhealed there that you need to cut, and also take on that childlike sensibility, because obviously there is one of the choices here, I feel like, that is before you, is something that has been with you since you were a child. It's something that you have thought about multiple times about doing, but you've never actually gone after. You've gone after the more practical, things that seem to make sense and that would give you sort of the wealth and foundation that you wanted. And while your finances are good, you still have to keep an eye on them. But now I think you're coming at a time, since we have 2 cups, this is more of the emotion, the water signs. You need to maybe try out whatever this was. Go back to whatever that goal, that dream was that you had as a child, and actually choose that cup and see where it will take you. Because either way, whatever choice it is that you make, I think as long as you've put in this work of releasing the old, not only will it help to clear out, your daily sort of juggling act that you're doing here and focus on what cup is right for you, it will also lead you to this possibly a new beginning for yourself. Because I feel like, the way that this card is kind of reminds me of the Fool card. So maybe you do need to take a risk. Maybe not be so grounded. Maybe even letting sort of the pillar fall would help you in a sense, because you would be changing up what you're doing. And it could lead you to something, while it may be scary at first, it will lead you, I think, to a much more beneficial path for yourself. Kind of like, I don't know, these golden fish kind of jumped out to me just now. Some sort of golden opportunity, but it's related to your emotional side, that child side of yourself. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. I don't know, that's just what I was getting off these cards. But yes, that is, I think, the messages that I'm getting from you guys for this group. So, of course, if this reading resonated with you, please do leave one final thing with the 7 of Cups and how to make that decision. Again, I feel like it is deeply tied to your childhood side. It's also really tied to your intuition. So trusting in your intuition, and maybe not so much the practical side, because obviously it's like it works for you, but you're at this point where it's like so overwhelming and you have these choices. You have to follow your heart now. And I definitely feel like your child self-heart is gonna be the biggest help for you here. So again, if this reading resonated with you, please do leave a like and a comment on this video letting me know. And if you would like to check out any of my other various links, they will be down in the description, including information about how to get a personal reading from me. And if you'd like to check out some of my art, some of my art merch, there's links down for that. Actually, this piece over here in the corner is up on my Redbubble, so all that's down in my description. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that this message was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful full moon.